Hello friends, from last 4 videos, I am discussing about the process of translation which occur inside the prokaryotic cell. So this is the last video of the series in which I am going to focus on termination stage of the translation. We know that during the initiation and elongation process of the translation, a ribosome do cycling of the tRNAs and synthesis of the new polypeptide chain. This process of elongation of the translation continue till ribosome reach stop codon. We know that on a mRNA, three different type of stop codons are present, and they are UAA, UAG, or UGA. If any one of the stop codon enter in the A site of the ribosome, then the process of termination begin. Okay, so in this lecture, I'm going to explain the process of termination by using this pathway. The pathway start from this point and end at this point when both the subunit of the ribosome release from the mRNA, and then this release subunit of the ribosome again get assemble on the new mRNA, and they again start the process of translation from the beginning. But for this thing to happen, the ribosome must be first released from the mRNA, and the release of the ribosome is generally occur due to termination of the translation process. All the three stages of translation, mainly initiation, elongation, and termination, require some factors. Initiation require initiation factor or IF, elongation require elongation factor or EF, while the termination require termination factor or RF. They can be also known as release factors. Okay, so three different type of release factor require in the prokaryotic translation termination process. They are RF1, RF2, and RF3. For our convenience, we have divided these RF factors into two groups. Okay, as class 1 and class 2. Okay, so class 1 include two release factor, namely RF1 and RF2. Okay, while class 2 include third release factor, it is RF3. Okay, so RF1 and RF2 are the example of class 1 release factor, while RF3 is example of class 2 release factor. Okay, so RF1 and RF2 generally involved in breakdown of the polypeptide chain from the ribosome and release of the newly synthesized protein from the assembly. So RF1 generally recognize two different type of stop codon, UAA and UAG. This is very important. I said earlier that when stop codon enter in the A site of a ribosome, termination process begin. Okay, so there are three different type of stop codon, out of which if UAA or UAG come in the A site, then RF1 factor will going to bind to this A site at the start of process. And if UAA and UGA, out of these two codon, any one codon come in the A site, then RF2 factor will going to play a role. Okay, so class 1 include two release factor. RF1 recognize UAA or UAG at a stop codon at the A site, while RF2 recognize UAA and UGA on the A site. While this RF3 play another role, I'm going to explain at the time of actual pathway. Okay, so what happened? This is the mRNA on which two subunit of the ribosome, small subunit which is 30S and large subunit which is 50S. We know this thing. Two subunit of the ribosome moving in 5' to 3' direction. Okay, at the time of movement, when new codon come at the A site, tRNA bring amino acid. Okay, we have seen this in detail at the time of elongation video. Okay, but at the end of mRNA, when any one of the three stop codon enter into the A site, for example, U, A, G. If ribosome reach UAG codon, which is the stop codon, then the termination process begin. Okay, when this stop codon come at A site, then we know that UAG is recognized by RF1, release factor 1. Then RF1 come and bind to the A site. Why this happened? Because none of the tRNA which is present in the prokaryotic cell have anticodon complementary to the stop codon. And without complementary anticodon, tRNA cannot bring the amino acid. So when stop codon come at A site, this RF1 release factor enter in the process. If it is UGA, then RF2 will going to come. Any one of these two release factor come and bind to the start codon. It is depend upon type of start codon. Once this factor bind, the termination process get initiated. Now, this UAG is a mRNA nucleotide sequence, while RF1 or RF2 are proteins. So how it is possible that protein bind to the nucleotide? This happened because the interaction take place at this site is amino acid nucleotide interaction, protein mRNA interaction, and due to which the binding of the RF1 take place at A site to the mRNA codon. And after this binding, a special amino acid sequence is present in this protein called GGQ. Okay, and this protein amino acid sequence now come close to the polypeptide chain. This is the protein chain, newly synthesized protein chain present on the tRNA on a P site. Okay, so this GGQ sequence break the peptide bond which holding tRNA and polypeptide chain, and due to breakdown of this bond, polypeptide chain release from the complex, 70S complex. Okay, and due to release of this polypeptide chain, okay, now this complex only have two tRNA on P and E site, while A site have RF1 release factor. Once the polypeptide chain release, second type of a release factor, which is a class 2 release factor, RF3, come in the picture. Okay, this is RF3. RF3 is always associated with GDP. Actually, all the G protein which we have seen in the translation process make pairing with the GTP, or they have affinity towards GTP, but this RF3, which is a class 2 release factor, have affinity for GDP. This is quite unusual thing. Okay, now this RF3 GDP come in the process and get attached to the RF1, which is already present on the A site. Okay, so what is the function of RF1? The function of RF1 is breakdown of the polypeptide chain. Okay, and once this polypeptide chain is released from the process, now RF3 can enter. When the polypeptide chain is present on the P site tRNA, RF3 cannot take part in the process. Okay, so for RF3 to enter in the process, this polypeptide chain must leave the ribosome. Okay, once this happen, RF3 directly get attached to the RF1. Okay, this is RF1 and this is RF3. Okay, now what happened? Due to attachment of RF3, the RF3 cause this bonding to break. The bonding which is present between A side stop codon and RF1, and due to breakdown of this bond, energy is released, and that energy is used by RF3 to convert this GDP into GTP. Okay, that means the RF3 is a hydrolyzing protein which will going to break the bond which is present between RF1 and mRNA, and due to this the RF1 release. Here you can see. RF1 or RF2. Here I take the example of RF1. Okay, so once release factor 1 release from the assembly, now the complex only have large subunit, small subunit, 2 tRNA and RF3 GTP. Okay, I have continue here. Now the complex have small subunit, large subunit, 2 tRNA and RF3 with GTP. Okay, so what is the function of RF3? RF3 play important role of removing RF1 or RF2 from the A site. Okay, so now I have cleared the function of this three. The function of RF1 or RF2 is cleavage of the polypeptide chain from the ribosome, while the function of RF3 is removing RF1 or RF2 from the A site. Okay, so in the first step, polypeptide chain remove and RF3 come into the picture, while in the second stage, RF1 or RF2 release from the A site. Okay, now this type of structure is produced. Okay, you have to remember this is the A site, P site and E site of small subunit, and A site have stop codon. We have to take the example of stop codon UAG. Now, due to GTP, the factor binding center which is present on the large subunit, we know that a factor binding center which is always present close to the A site somewhere here on the large subunit, cleave the GTP which is present on the RF3. So due to cleavage of the GTP, the hydrolysis occur and GDP is produced, GDP plus IP. And due to which conformational changes occur in the RF3 and RF3 release from A site. And due to release of RF3, now A site is free. This happened due to hydrolysis of GTP. And now A site of the ribosome is free. And now the next termination factor come into the picture, which is RRF. This ribosome release factor play important role of removing ribosome from mRNA. How exactly it happen? RRF get access to the A site. That means this factor now bind to the A site. Okay. And after binding of RRF on the A site, it recruit or it invite next termination factor, which is EFG. This EFG is associated with the GTP again because this is a G protein, GTPase protein. We have studied the function of EFG during elongation. EFG actually take part in translocation of ribosome on mRNA. Okay, this is the same EFG factor. Now, this RRF after binding to the A site invite EFG protein which is associated with the GTP. And now this EFG protein get attached to the RRF on the A site. Okay, this is RRF and this is EFG protein. Now both these proteins are present on the A site of ribosome, while P and E site have empty tRNA, free tRNA. Okay. Now what happened? This RRF release both tRNA from P and E site. How exactly this happened? The GTP which is present on the EFG protein get hydrolyzed, and due to hydrolysis of this GTP molecule, 1-phosphate release. And we know that when EFG GTP is hydrolyzed, it provides energy for translocation of the ribosome. Okay, so when this GTP is hydrolyzed, ribosome try to move forward towards 3' end. Okay, and due to this, the tRNA from the E site or exit site remove or leave the complex, as well as this tRNA from the P site also get dissociated due to the action of EFG protein, and both the tRNA now free. Okay, so this type of a complex now present on the mRNA, which have mRNA, small subunit, large subunit, and A site of a small subunit having two protein RRF and EFG. Okay, and now this EFG protein with a GDP leave. Okay, this protein dissociate from RRF, and once EFG protein leave, the next factor come into the picture. Now only RRF is present on the A side. Now next factor come into the picture, which is IF3. IF3 is initiation factor 3. This factor we have seen in the initiation process of the translation. This factor come and attach to the E site of the small subunit. And we know that when this factor bound to the E site, this factor play a role of keeping both large and small subunit away from each other. That means IF3 prevent reassociation of the small and large subunit. Okay, when IF3 get entry into the process, this RRF release from the A site. Now IF3 directly get attached to the E site, and due to attachment of IF3, small subunit and large subunit dissociate from each other, and now this happen. mRNA become free, small subunit and large subunit also get dissociated from each other, which mark the end of translation process. Okay, when this thing happen, now both these subunit are again ready to bound to the start codon and initiate the process of translation again with this mRNA. Okay, so they are now ready to recycle, and this recycling happen until sufficient amount of protein is produced in the cell by using same mRNA. At the end of the translation process, when sufficient amount of protein is produced, this mRNA get degraded and the role of ribosome is over. Okay, on this mRNA. When this polypeptide chain release in the first step of the termination, we know that in eukaryotic cell this chain transported to the Golgi complex, where it is packed in a vesicle, and then in a protein trafficking section it transport to the action site. Okay, that means this polypeptide chain of the amino acid is now in this form is non-functional. To get into the action, this polypeptide chain must have to get proper conformation. Okay, all the stages of translation termination is essential. If any one step get affected, then the termination process cannot occur successfully and effectively. Okay, and one more thing, if the stop codon UAA, UAG or UGA get mutations, okay, like a point mutation, in that case also the termination process cannot occur, because due to mutation stop codon, nonsense codon become functional codon. In that case, a release factor cannot recognize the stop codon. So in this series of the 5 videos, first I explain overall concept of translation, then in second video I explain Abel hypothesis as well as a genetic code and other few factors of the translation process, while in last 3 video I explain initiation, elongation and termination of the translation process in detail. Thank you.